You smell that? Someone cooked here. I'm not seeking penance for what I've done, neighbors. I'm asking forgiveness for what I'm about to do because this shit means something to me. We finally got some good news about the Batman Part 2. Matt Reeves has officially delivered the script for the Batman Part 2. Smiling through it all. I can't believe this is my life right now. Batman fans, I want you to put the word out. We back up. But that's not all, because we got little hints and teases of what the story could be about. And you know me, if I get a little bit of crumbs, I'm gonna make a full course meal. Because Matt Reeves is coming back with a vengeance. I'm vengeance. And either way, me and you know what we gotta do. We gotta talk about it. First things first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. But for real, Matt Reeves took to Twitter to post this image of him delivering the script of the Batman Part 2 with the caption, "Partners in crime, parentheses, fighters," with his co-writer, Mattson Tomlin. And can we just appreciate the aura of this image? Matt Reeves is the motion man for real, because he posted this image and the entire internet is losing their minds. And me included. But this is just such a tough, like, inhale that aura. Now, if you'll remember, the script was allegedly supposed to be delivered this past Monday, but when a fan asked James Gunn on Threads if that rumor was true, James Gunn just said, it's not true, straight up. And he wasn't capping, he wasn't lying, because it was delivered on Friday. And finally, after all these delays, all these constant rumors, talks about the Batman Part 2 being canceled, being shelved indefinitely, and thank the Lord, because but it's not the script for the Batman Part 2. This means that the Batman Part 2 is on track to make its release date of October 1st, 2027, which is just the second release date it's had, because it was originally supposed to come out October of this year, then it got delayed 1 year, and then another year. And I'm so glad we have this update, because it basically all but confirms that the Batman Part 2, the Batman universe, is continuing on. And you just knew they were going to continue on with this universe, because Batman movie that's almost 3 hours long, the first in its franchise with the new direction, made $772 million at the box office. Remember, at the end of the day, this is a business, and if it doesn't make dollars, it don't make no sense. And the Batman made a lot of dollars, so it makes a lot of sense to keep it going. It's official. We have the script delivered, and it looks like the Batman universe is going to continue on in James Gunn's new DC universe as an Elseworld story. But now let's get into the nitty-gritty of the details, because if you hit that zoom and enhance, I know it's a little blurry, but you can make it out that it looks like the Batman Part 2 is titled The Batman Part 2. At least for now, because we know James Gunn has a fetish for announcing a movie's title and then changing it later on, like Superman Legacy to Superman, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow to just Supergirl. So I wouldn't be surprised if this title changes. I was personally hoping for a title like Kill the Batman, or a cool subtitle, but either way, nonetheless, Batman Part 2 is all I care about. And I am just so happy and grateful that the Lord has blessed us with more Pattinson, because don't forget, Robert Pattinson is pushing 40, playing most likely a year 2 or year 3 Batman in the sequel, so we don't know how many more movies of these he can do. And you know, me personally, this is my favorite iteration of Batman in live action, and I'm just so excited to see where they progress his story, and how he continues to grow as a character, because I love the focus they're putting on his mental health and the detective-like elements. Don't forget, like, people be making fun of him that he doesn't know Spanish and shit, but like, bro, he's still learning to be the world's greatest detective. Like, you don't become the world's greatest detective overnight. But we especially need to see him return after the way the Penguin ended, with that light hitting the sky as a warning. Because I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I need the Batman to get it back in blood for my boy Vic. Victor, it couldn't hoy. Oh yes it could, when Batman starts waterboarding you and beating the dog shit out of you. So you know they're gonna have the Penguin included in the Batman Part 2 some way, somehow. I'm just curious if it'll actually pick up right here. And I kind of hope it does, because this means it's gonna be leading into the winter time, and bro, I need a Batman movie set during the winter time just for the aesthetic. But just imagine what Greg Fraser and Matt Reeves can do with that. And now moving on to some of the villains, you know, I know a lot of people want to see Mr. Freeze, especially if this is most likely going to be set during the winter time. I mean, just for the aesthetic purposes alone, it would be fire. And there's a way you could do it where he could be a little bit more grounded, or you could make it a little more fantastical and start dipping your toes into the fantastical elements of this version of Batman. And we also can't forget that they teased Hush in the first Batman movie, so there could definitely be a way for them to sneak that in. And there's also Barry Keoghan's Joker, who I would love to see more of. With the way the Batman Part 1 ended, I feel like we should be getting a little bit more of his Joker in this movie, and then probably setting him up for the third film. But I know a lot of people feel like the Joker is oversaturated, especially with Joaquin Phoenix's movies. So slowly building up the Joker as like one of the main big bads, because I mean, he is Batman's ultimate villain, be fire. Matt Reeves spoke in an interview with SFX magazine, where he revealed that they've already shared the script with DC, and it's going to dig into the epic story about deeper corruption in Gotham, and it goes into places he couldn't even anticipate in the first movie, which immediately brings my attention to the Court of Owls, who are a secret society of the richest and wealthiest citizens of Gotham, and they've been there since the founding of Gotham. They're kind of like the Illuminati. So everything that the Riddler unmasked in the first movie was just the tip of the iceberg. But I think this could be hinting at that Hush teaser from the first movie, and they could introduce Thomas Elliot, aka Hush, as the son of the reporter that Thomas Wayne accidentally had Carmine Falcone accidentally kill. Sins of the father. But now on to the part that has a lot of fans pissed, because Matt Reeves also clarified that his Batman universe is always going to push the boundaries of fantastical, but he has no intention of going full-on fantastical. He wants his Batman universe to feel like it could be the world outside our window, and even provided an example of a character that's too fantastical, Gentleman Ghost. So I could tell you some villains that aren't going to be in this next one. You were hoping for Mr. Freeze or Poison Ivy again. Psych! What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Yeah, everybody that was hoping for Clayface, I don't think that's happening either. Maybe the old age Clayface, but not this big beast. I know he's not mainly a Batman villain, but I was thinking of a character like maybe Deathstroke. Could be as cool a grounded character that we ever get in this universe. But even then, I don't think he'll include him. I think all the cool, campy, batshit crazy comic stuff is gonna happen in Batman the Brave and the Bold and James Gunn's universe. I think fits better for that universe anyway, so we can get the Bat family and everybody else introduced. But we can still get great villains like the Joker. Hopefully they fix my man's face. And that laugh. Maybe they go back to the serial killer route with Victor Zsasz. I think Professor Pig is like a Saw type role would be pretty dope too. I would love to see Hugo Strange in this universe, given his connection to Arkham Asylum, and we know Bruce's mom in this universe was heavily involved there. Could be interesting. But I still think all signs are pointing to the Court of Owls being one of the main villains in the Batman Part 2. I mean, who knows? We could have multiple villains, because don't forget the Penguin is definitely showing up in the Batman Part 2. And mind you, they've teased the Court of Owls multiple times, even in the Penguin series. And Matt Reeves himself has talked about how there's even more corruption underneath the streets of Gotham City that Batman himself isn't even aware of. Like Carmine Falcone was just the tip of the iceberg. So it only makes sense for it to be the Court of Owls. And this would be a really safe villain if you want to keep it a little bit more grounded the way the first Batman was. You know, Matt Reeves' universe is definitely more crime noir. So I feel like those are the type of villains like serial killers, mobsters that are going to be a focus in this universe. As much as I would love to see a Clayface or a Killer Croc or a comic accurate Bane, which by the way, I still maintain that they could find a way to make it work in this universe. But if they want to play it safer, probably just stick to villains like this. And I think we can finally put to rest that this is not going to be our world's finest, even though I think the juxtaposition between their two worlds would work perfectly, because that's how comics are. Like when you open up a Batman comic, it would be like the Batman. When you open up a Superman comic, it would be like the Superman movie. But it looks like that ain't happening. But we also need to continue on the story with Sofia Falcone, Sofia Gigante, and her sister. Don't forget, they're half sisters in this universe. And at the end of the Penguin series, Sofia got a letter from Selena Kyle. Show me their moms, Matt. Stop being a coward. I wouldn't mind seeing her get her own series, but she at least got to play a big role in the Batman Part 2. And if she does come back, have her look something like this, because I would need it for research purposes. And you know Batman's gonna get a new suit. I wonder if they're gonna give him the white eyes. I personally hope they don't. I think that was one of the better aspects of the Batman movie, was being able to see Robert Pattinson's eye acting. His expression said so much without saying anything. But I think something like this would be pretty fire. You know, my ultimate dream is to get the gray and blue with the yellow belt. And I just don't know if that's the vibe that Matt Reeves wants to go for as Batman. And I feel like James Gunn is probably going to save this aesthetic for his DC Universe as Batman. So I just think superheroes in the snow is something that we need more of and we deserve. But we can call it the Batman ice-shaped box, so we can play this banger throughout the movie. But either way, that's all the new news we got about the Batman Part 2. I'm so excited. The script is in. That means we're actually finally getting it. It's gonna make its release date of 2027 most likely. I've just never been happier, man. Life is so good. But let me know your thoughts about this news, my thoughts, theories, and opinions down in the comments below. And as always, like and follow for more.